Hi, everybody. Welcome. I am so excited for today and just waiting for y'all to hop on live with me. Yes. Hi, Sheena. Welcome. Today I'm in my bedroom. For a reason. And yeah, so when we moved in, that wallpaper has been there since we moved in. We've been here since October of 2019, so a year and a half, a little bit longer. It's okay. It's okay. Like, it's not my favorite, but never had wallpaper in a room before. What are you gonna do? Yeah, I don't know if to keep it or to paint it. Honestly, what I desire the most is to have a big black and white family photo behind us, even though we're the only people that really come into this room. But to have that in this sacred space would mean a lot to me. So, and there's no additions to the family anytime soon until mama can lose the extra baby weight and kind of feel back to normal, So, hashtag live if you're here with me live. Hashtag replay if you will be catching the replay today. How was day one? How was day one for y'all? If you were able to catch day one live, how was it? Let me know. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear what you may learn. Or what you may have learned if you watched the video already from day one. And if this is your first time live with me, welcome. This is going to be a very special experience, I would say, for both of us today. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to show you and for you to witness what it means to go into processing from the heart space and really being available for one's own self. Awesome. So just finished day one video, need to complete the homework. Beautiful. Those journal prompts, I recommend doing them right after you watch the videos, but that doesn't mean that you can't be here on second and third day of live videos as well. They're just, activation as part of the day at hand. So if you get to the homework, feel free to post your answers directly into the comments of the post if you feel that you can open your heart and allow other people to see you for what your heart is. If you want to journal them separately, that is fine with me as well. No judgment, no guilt, no shame, no blame. We're all in this together. And I'm really digging Together We Rise. So I'm rolling with that. And it's true. And Together We Rise. All right, beautiful people. I am going to get started because I wake up to a black and white photo from a friend of a girl underwater. Love that. My parents, growing up, so my parents had a jacuzzi tub in their bathroom. And their bathroom was black and white, checkered floor, white decorations, black toothbrush holders and napkin holders. I don't know why they had napkins in their bathroom. But every accessory was black, and then every painting and photo was white. And over top of their tub, they had this gorgeous 3D photo of this half woman, half, I would say, goddess over top of the tub. And my father took a photo of my mother when she was in her early 20s before they got married and took it to an artist. And the artist then had this gorgeous photo 3D thing put into a frame and hung over their tub. And I just thought that that was the most loving and beautiful thing ever. My daughter painted cow spots on her bedroom wall. Oh, how cute. I love that. It's so awesome. All right, girls, ladies, my friends, today we are talking about mastering inner peace. How to master inner peace in order to get to, mastering the inner game, which will allow us to have inner peace. Ooh, this is a big one. This is a really, really big topic. We could go either way. We could make this a huge celebration, or we could go heavy, or we could land in the middle, or. We're gonna weave in the two today. Right before this call, I decided to look up the etymology of peace. And I'm really big on words. So if you are just catching me on a first live video, I like to emphasize my words. That is my love language. Words of affirmation, being told that I am whatever. Like I'm love, I'm amazing, I'm great, I'm beautiful, I'm all these things. That lights me up. Nothing more, nothing less lights my soul on fire. Words. You could take me out to a nice steak dinner, but when you open the car door for me and tell me, oh my gosh, you look gorgeous, I eat that shit up. So that's one of my favorite things is words. And looking at the etymology of peace today comes from an English background or words of safety. To be at peace means to be safe. Now, I know that is heavy. And after yesterday of releasing expectations and really finding our heart space and finding the love within and going into that safety, into that love, and then being of service to ourselves, we can start to land in this place of peace, right? When we land in peace, this is what we do to master our self-love game, our inner workings of who we are as women. And safety equals divinity. It equals the ocean of love. It equals the masculine and the feminine energies combined together, right? If you think about an ocean, it goes in and comes back out, goes in and comes back out, right? So when we have inner peace, we are balanced. We're mastering these emotions. We're mastering what's going in and what's going out, what's coming in and what's going out. And it becomes this cycle for us, okay? And divine energy, mother, father, God, universe, whatever that is to you, becomes one within. And we feel that safety, we feel that protection deeply within our human experience and our higher self, okay? So if you are one for etymology and you're one for words as well, one of the coolest things to do is look up your name. If your name has etymology behind it, mine does not. My name literally just means of Britain, of Brittany. Go figure. But, excuse me, when we look up the etymology of some words of love, right? What do we think it is? It's, again, in the safety. So we have these beautiful ways of addressing what's going on. And we start with the mind. So as an NLP practitioner, as an emotional intelligence certified life coach and Reiki master and all these things, I like to start in the energy of up here, right? What are my thoughts? Are my thoughts trying to dictate where I am not at peace? Are my thoughts telling me that I'm right or wrong, good or bad, not enough, not worthy, not protected, not safe, not at peace, right? And what I see is a lot of high achieving women who are out there making shit tons of money and are out there doing some really badass things in this world, struggle with worthiness, struggle with feeling good enough, and struggle with the inner peace. Because in all honesty, sister, they haven't mastered that inner game. And the inner game equals the ocean of love of emotions and balancing out the in and the out, the yin and the yang, the back and the forth. And it's really, really subtle, right? This is really, really subtle, where you could wake up and all of your anxiety is literally like in a ball in front of you, right? And you wake up and you can't catch your breath, right? And you're freaking out and you're like, I don't know what to do, and I'm all up here and blah, 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 blah. And let me get on my phone, because that's the first thing that I want to do when I wake up in the morning is, as an anxious person, get on my phone. Check my email, check my voicemails, check my text messages, check here, Facebook, doing all the things behind the scenes. Then let me brush my teeth and get ready and maybe make time for myself along the way, right? But that anxiousness is playing a huge part. And because it's playing a huge part, it takes away from your safety. It takes away from your protection. And it takes away you from the ocean of love. So you then become separated from love because you're living in the emotion of anxiety. You're living in the emotion of anger, frustration, disappointment, not good enough. And when we live in these emotions, we become further and further separated from peace, from safety, from feeling the security blanket of the yin and the yang energy. Okay? Drop me a 1111 if this makes sense. Drop me an 1111 if this makes sense. When we look at our inner game, okay, yes, it's psychological, but it's also the inner game of the emotions, okay? So if I have a desire to express my emotions, which I'm going to do with you today in the most beautiful and profound way that I have found, I can't tell you how nervous I am to actually show you this, because it's not something that I would have done a couple months ago. So it scares the shit out of me to show you my process of emotions, to be able to be here with you and show you exactly what I go through when I'm feeling a certain type of way, whether it's anger or frustration, anxiety, nervousness, all the things. But what better way than to show you exactly how to process, right? So mastering your inner game, mastering your emotions, it takes time. It takes time for us to go through this. I have clients right now that they're, a couple weeks, 6 weeks to 2 months into the process of working with me. And usually I'm working with clients between 3 months to 6 months, maybe a little bit longer, depending on the case. Okay. And right now I have a woman who I'm working with, and we're 6.5 weeks in. And today she brought in the expectations, and I was like, bam, I got you, girl. But you know what she said? One of the key things that she said to me was, I expect to have it all figured out. I expect to have my emotions already figured out. I expect to master what it means to be a mother. I expect my husband to master what it means to be a father. I expect my children to understand the word no. And the list went on and on and on. And so when we dug deeper into what was really coming up, she brought up the fact that when she was a child at the age of 13, her father had placed a big giant checklist onto her, these expectations, and her mom sat back and watched it all unfold. And so ever since the age of 13 and now 37, she's been building up these expectations, which are not hers, but somebody else's. And what happens when we're fed expectation after expectation is our emotional intelligence or emotional game literally doesn't exist. It just flies off the panhandle, and we're like, well, I'm going to live in the world of anxiety, and I'm actually going to be okay with that because I don't know any other emotion and I don't know anything else to do, right? So we stop ourselves from feeling. And when we stop ourselves from feeling, we cut off completely our emotions. And when we do that, we are then fed by somebody else's reaction. And when we're fed by somebody else's reaction, inner peace is not there. So if you have ever read the book, The Mastery of Love by Don Miguel Ruiz, it is so special to my heart. I recommend it 1,000%. The Mastery of Love. In that book, he speaks about a couple that are in the kitchen together. The woman's at the stove and she's boiling a pot of water. The man's at the sink doing the dishes, and they're going back and forth and they're having dialogue. And all of a sudden the woman turns around with the big pot of water and she spills it onto her partner. Scalding hot water. Okay? First of all, he's fucking burned. But his reaction is, I hate you. I can't believe you did this. Did you do this on purpose? How could you? Why would you do this to me? On and on and on and on, placing blame on this woman, who then gets triggered in her little girl to freak out and react back. Okay, so we have two people bickering and they're reacting and they're fighting, and the emotion here is surface level. We talked about that yesterday. Tip of the iceberg, anger. Underneath, right, is 95% of the emotions underneath. There's lack of safety. There's no protection when we're in reaction, right? Second case scenario he writes about is she spills the water. He turns around and the man offers to help her clean it up off the floor. And she's apologizing profusely, and he says, I love you anyway. And I choose to love you no matter what happens, because I know that wasn't your fault. And I know that I'm available to have this conversation as to why the pot fell out of your hands or whatever. You see the difference? Do you see how important it is to master from head to heart to center to core? How important it is for us to understand our emotions, our feelings, so that when we start to process those, our thought patterns change. And when our thought patterns change, and we don't wake up in that anxious feeling, but that blissful peace, that security blanket, that protection, we are then living in the safety. Oof, and girl, when you're in safety, when you're feeling safe, what happens? What happens? I'll tell you from my own experience. When I feel safe, I make more money. When I feel safe, I want more sex, and it's like mind-blowing sex. When I feel safe, I love every inch of my curvy body. When I feel safe, I don't feel the need to correct Avery, who's 1, having a temper tantrum. When I feel safe, I'm available emotionally. The list goes on. Okay? How do you keep yourself centered to respond when the other doesn't have this knowledge? I absolutely love this question, so thank you for posting it. How do you keep yourself centered to respond when the other doesn't have the knowledge? So when someone else is really struggling with their emotional intelligence, emotional IQ, or inner game, inner peace, honestly, it's not our responsibility to decide on how they respond or how they react. We're only responsible for ourselves. So how do I keep myself centered, or how does somebody keep themselves centered in order to, what I'm hearing is, avoid getting into conflict, okay? How do you keep yourself centered to respond? The best way to do this is for you to figure out what your emotions are. And in that moment, okay, so let's say you are that bickering, you're fighting, right? And you two are going at it. And of course, your initial response is what? Anger, frustration, to match that person's level of emotional intelligence, which might be all the way down here, and yours is all the way up here, right? We tend to want to match that person to be on their level. But yesterday when I talked about having emotional integrity, this allows you to not react but respond. And so you're not matching the frequency or lower vibration of this person. And there's ways to do that, okay? So in the moment when we're feeling, walk away. When you're feeling like this person is not hearing you or seeing you or loving you the way that you truly need in that moment, it's because they're not responsible to do so. So I'm going to place the question back onto you. How can you respond? What are some ways that really allow you to welcome in the safety in that moment? Is it a calm and loving breath? And you look at that person and you say, right now, in this moment, I don't feel safe. And until I feel safe, then I will respond. But this is not the time. I need to go process how I feel. And then we can come back and have this conversation. And again, it's not your responsibility to change how they feel about what you just said in the moment. My friends, this is about you really taking yourself into consideration. And if you're struggling with a partner, if a partner is having a rough go and doesn't quite understand what it even means to have emotions, which I totally get, and that's actually where I was going next. That's really difficult for you, right? It's really, really hard. But let's reframe, and I'm gonna take a seat on the bed. What would it look like? And also, what would it feel like for you to do this inner work? And then for you to pour your heart out to somebody who loves you without condition and can hold you in the safety. And if that person is not reciprocating that love and that vulnerable space for you to be in, well, then you get to make that choice if that person is the one for you, right? But that's a whole totally different conversation. But let's go there. So if a person is really struggling to match you on an energetic frequency, an energetic integrity, an emotional integrity level, like I keep saying, it's not your responsibility to get them there, but it is your responsibility to take care of your wants, your needs, your desires. And when you fully express your emotions, when you fully lay it out on the table, and this person doesn't reciprocate, you better believe there will be pain. You better believe there will be that sharp feeling of, ugh, I just did this and nobody cares, right? We get that, ugh, that like vomit feeling. And then we go into uncontrollable crying and we let it go and, ugh, and it doesn't stop. The pain doesn't stop. And at that point, you have a choice. Do you want to walk through the pain and experience what it's like to have freedom on the other side? You want to sit with the pain and go inward and see what's really causing it? Because it might not even be this particular person and their lack of knowledge. Might have been caused by something long ago or something recent. Or are you like most people who see an emotion and run like hell because they would rather get hit by a Mack truck than face their fear, face their pain, face the obstacle? Like I said yesterday, you have a choice. You have a choice to walk through pain, to walk through joy, to walk through experiences that are going to light your fucking soul on fire. And this other person, if they're not an energetic match or an emotional match, how can you help guide them to get there? By doing the inner work. By loving yourself so much that honestly what they say bounces off of you and right back to them. And they receive the medicine that you just went through. Mastering your inner game and conquering that piece of emotions to land in inner peace is all about walking through your pain. Your pain is your greatest ally. Your pain is your medicine. And your medicine is something that you take daily. Now, I don't look like I'm in any pain. I don't today feel physically in pain, even though I have chronic pain in my neck and shoulder and in my hip. I'm not feeling that today. Why? Because the process I'm about to show you is a daily thing that now I do and treat myself to master my emotions and to find that peace, to find that safety, to be one with the divine, to hold myself accountable, to walk through my pain. And to be honest with you, I know that this is something you won't do on your own. You don't. We don't walk through pain alone. But in order for us to manifest our desires, in order for us to level up spiritually and have a beautiful awakening, in order for us to be an energetic match and a beautiful vibration of the highest frequency, this is it. This is it. This is the code. Okay? You want to talk about cracking the codes. This is the code that I continue to crack by walking through my pain in order to get the things that I've always desired. Because let's face it, you may have had the most beautiful childhood, right? The most beautiful childhood. But then you get into the worst relationship of your life. Does it teach you something? You better fucking believe it does. But are you ready to swallow the medicine? And I said this to somebody yesterday, and I'm going to say it to you because it really makes sense. If you have 1,000,001 options out there trying to fulfill your needs, trying to bring you this inner peace, and there's all these help books and self-help and trainings and all the things that you can do for yourself, right? If there's many options, why haven't you taken one? Because when you're left with no options and the pain is what you walk through, the fulfillment on the other side is humbling as fuck. Walking through your pain is not an option. It is mandatory. Because, girlfriend, you're worth it. Your desires are worth it. Everything that you've ever wanted to come true is on the other side of that pain. And believe me, I know this because I've been there and I continue to be there. And every day I process my pain somehow, right? Journaling practices every single day, especially before bed. Like I am a diligent writer every night before I go to bed. I find that I do my best work before I go to bed and get all of my brain out onto paper. 2, tub. I love water and I can process in it. And I'm going to, process my tears today with you via water, right? It's the water. And the water cleanses the soul. It brings us back to peace and to safety. It brings us back to the divine. Source, love, energy. Okay? And there's a list of all other things that you could do in order to process and walk through your pain. So without further ado, I am going to show you, like I told you yesterday, a temper tantrum that I'm holding deep inside. I've been very emotional today. I've been waiting to do this with you. And if you are watching live, you have the availability to a bed, hop in one, and just listen to the music that I'm about to play, okay? And allow for any emotions, anything that wants to come over you, to wash over you, okay? Let the tears come, let the feelings come, let the anger come, let it come up. And in order for us, again, to master this inner peace, we allow the emotions to come up and then we release them out. And that's exactly what we're going to do. And it's funny, I looked down at my watch because I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't running over time. And the steps that I took were 2-2-2-2 today, so far, just around the house. And I know that's not a lot, but I slept in this morning because that's what my body needed. So I'm in my sacred space in my bedroom, and we're going to go there. And you're going to witness me in all of my emotional glory. So #ready if you're ready to see this. And if you want to be part of the experience, by all means, that is perfectly fine. I'm only at 8:30. Well, good morning, my friend, wherever you're at in the world. This is a beautiful experience to be witnessing and to be part of. And like I said, if you do have access to your bedroom, I recommend getting in the bed. Okay? Whoop. All right, so this is just a pillow with a blanket, and the blanket, I start crying already. This blanket was my grandfather's, and he was near and dear to my heart and soul. And we just got back from a 2-week vacation in New Jersey, and this blanket was his. He used to cover his lap with this blanket. So I don't know if you can hear me. I hope that you can hear me. I meant for steps. Oh, 830 steps. Well, beggars can't be choosers, right? So here's the process, ladies. I have found music that I'm going to be playing on my computer. And today I picked a song that's called Cold by Jorge Mendes. This is an hour-long song, which I won't be playing for a full hour, but I'm going to show you my process and be here with you. And what I start out with is allowing an emotion to come to the surface. So today, when I woke up, I actually felt really sad. I felt very sad for humanity. I felt sad when I looked down at this blanket. I felt the sadness, and it's still in me and wants to come out. So hopefully you're ready. I'm nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I'm very nervous to show this to you, but when you're a leader, you do the things that other people don't do, right? So without further ado, we're gonna play some music and I'm gonna get into my zone. I love you. I love you so much. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, and I'm not leaving you. I know that you're sad, but I'm here. I'm here. I love you so much. I love you. I love you. I'm not going anywhere. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. And you are so loved. You are loved. You are loved. You are loved. I love you. I'm here for you. I'm here for you always. I'm not going anywhere. So, my beauties, that is the temper tantrum process. That's it. And I'm taking my phone off the thing. Oops. I want to remind you that this process could literally last you 5 minutes, 30 seconds, 2 hours. It doesn't matter how long it is, and it doesn't matter what comes out of you, whether it's screaming, crying, getting it out is the most important thing. Look at how green my eyes are. Getting it out of the body, okay? And my process is probably going to be different from yours and look much different than yours and feel different than yours. And whatever it is, it is. Plenty of water to drink afterwards. If you need to lie down, lie down. If you need to keep going, you keep going, because you need to ask yourself how you feel afterwards. Drink, nourish, care for. If you feel exhausted, lean into that. But this is the mastering of the emotions by feeling the emotions. By mastering the emotions and feeling the emotions, we find that inner peace. Now, I know that I'm supported and loved by the divine because I can feel that within. Deeply, deeply within me. And to be honest with you, the emotions that I now feel are actually a lot of energy from doing that process. And it's not just one emotion like sadness, right? It could be a number of emotions that come up. You could name them. You could scream. You could shout. You could bring that out and create your safe space. Create your ocean. Allow the tears to fall. Thank you for allowing me to be vulnerable with you. Thank you for letting me lead you in this process. Thank you for letting me show up to be the one to show you that this is a practice. This is a feminine practice. This is something that I used to shy away from. I would not have set foot on this live and did this in front of you in a million years. But because my heart is cracked open, and because I'm so open to vulnerability and so open to being one with myself and the love that I have of myself, I can do this. I can go there. And it feels good. It feels beautiful to allow my heart to be tender and open. And I want you to know that you are safe and you are supported and you are so loved. And I'm here for you. Whew. That was a lot. A lot of me came out. And I'm really happy that you were a part of this. So thank you. Homework. I'm just watching the birds outside. And you know, one of the other things I want to point out is when you start to release your emotions and you start to really swim in that ocean of love and that ocean of safety and peace, things look brighter. Things look different. You start hearing more sound, start seeing the birds, start paying attention to your ultimate desires and the love within. So, your homework is to throw a temper tantrum. Now, you get to decide on how that looks, how that feels, what emotions come up for you. And you can either post it in the group if you want and be really, really vulnerable, or you can do this in silence alone. I'm not going to make you post it if you don't want to post it, but if you feel you want to share your vulnerability with others, you have that permission to do so. And with that permission comes leadership and responsibility to show up for others. But that's who we are. We are the 1% of women that do just that. We are the women that are out there saying, hey, I don't need you to look at me because I've looked at me. I've processed who I am, and I know that I can master my emotions. So that's your homework. That's your homework. Well, my beautiful friends, I'm looking forward to day 3. Day 3 is all about receiving. Receiving more money, receiving better sex, receiving in your relationships, receiving. Oh, feels fucking sexy to even say the word receiving. And to radically receive means to accept all parts of who you are as your queen self. So we're going there tomorrow. And I look forward to walking you through what it means to receive. So until then, I see you, I hear you, and I love you so, so much. Thank you for letting me do this with you today. Have a beautiful rest of your day, your week, if I don't catch you tomorrow, and your evening, and I will talk to you then. Bye.